Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. I have a question for you. What do you do when you catch yourself slipping? What do you do when you see yourself fall back into old patterns, or when you know you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing? What do you do to stop yourself, or what do you do to make sure you stay on track? I ask because I'm noticing myself slipping back, and everything that I've tried so far in the past obviously hasn't worked. The simple reality is that if you're doing something that's working, it's working. And if it's not working, it's not working. There is no if, and, or buts. There is no excuse or reason that changes reality, that changes the truth that this specific method isn't working for me. I used to feel really guilty about things like that, because I would get this advice from either people in my life or doctors or coaches or honestly influencers online, and I would try all the things that they're telling me to do, and yet I wasn't getting the result that I wanted to get. I wasn't reaching the outcome that I was looking for, and I kept thinking that I was doing something wrong. I kept thinking that I was the problem, and maybe the truth is more similar to me being part of the problem, but the solution is just different for me. It's not that I'm the problem and that means it'll never work. No, it just means that I'm not just the problem, I'm just different. And that means the solution has to be different, but the solution exists. So honestly, I'm just looking for ideas at this point. I still catch myself, and I still do it in a way that helps me get back on track. I just do it in a way that's not as fast as I want it to be. I'd like to notice a little bit sooner when I'm falling back into old patterns. And I'm just curious if there even is a way to do that. The first thing that comes to mind for me is practice. Maybe this is just something that I have to do again and again and again until it gets easier, until it gets better, until it becomes something I notice quicker. I'm practicing that approach for the time being, and I'm just wondering if there's another one. Maybe a certain way to set up reminders or check-ins, or talking to other people in my life and making sure that they can keep me accountable for the things that I want to do. On that last note, the part about accountability, I know that accountability works. I know how powerful it is. And I guess the issue that I run into is that I have difficulty finding people to hold me accountable. Or, I guess a better way to put it, I don't know how to set up accountability circles. Truly. I thought I used to, but like I said before, if it isn't working, that means it isn't working. I'm not doing it the right way for me and for them. So the reality is, I still need to learn. I still need to figure out what works for me. I think I always assumed an accountability circle was always almost like a parent-child relationship, where the parent reminds you to do something. So the kid rarely thinks about it until the parent tells them to do it, to remind them. But the point being, I guess I always looked at accountability as someone reminding me to do something, or someone checking in on me. But I think a more successful, a more powerful version of accountability circles is one where you agree to let someone know how you're doing, right? So instead of having someone hover over me, making sure I'm following my path, I just have someone that is willing to listen, to hear how I'm doing, to check in, and to be tough on me if and when I need it. But their job is not to ask, their job is to listen. It's my job to bring it up and tell them and hold myself accountable and tell them where I messed up, because that's how you truly start growing as a person. I say this now, and it's actually a mindset that I've had in terms of business, but not my personal life. I believe in business, the role of an owner, or the role of even CEO and all the other top dogs in a business, is to coach and train the people below them to do their job without having to constantly question if they're doing their job correctly. The role of an owner is not to be there and hold everybody's hand all the time, but to train them how to ask questions, how to answer them, how to follow the vision of the business. And eventually the owner is able to step away, not fully away from the business, but away enough that the business can run itself without this owner. And the owner just comes in for periodic meetings, periodic coachings and check-ins, where the team reports to the owner, not the owner hounding down on the team. It actually doesn't even have to just be an owner. That could also be like a manager-employee relationship, one where the manager trusts the employee to get the work done and not need their hand held the entire time. I have that mindset, and yet I never applied it to my personal life in saying that it's nobody's job to be an oversight on me. It's not their role to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's my role to report to someone. That's what an accountability circle is. And I think the reason that it hasn't worked for me in the past is because from experience, I know that when I get a little bit embarrassed, like I know that I didn't hold up my end of the deal, like I'm not accountable to myself, I get quiet, I get silent, and I try not to think about it. I feel too guilty and shameful. It gets to the point that the other person doesn't remember because they have their entire life and all their things going on. And I feel as though, yes, I've slipped under the radar, but the only person I'm hurting is myself. And I've done that so many times, especially over the last few years in trying to grow my business, really. There have been so many times that I say I'm going to do something, and then something comes up, I make up some excuse, I don't do it, and then I stay quiet about it. I make up some reason if it does come up, and that's that. The thing about accountability is, yes, you may have someone that you practice accountability with, but you're only ever truly accountable to yourself. Yeah, you may have people that rely on you, but at the end of the day, you're accountable for yourself to be on time, to show up, to do what you have to do what you've agreed to do. And when you don't do those things, yeah, you hurt other people. You could say that you're accountable to them, but in reality, you're really just hurting yourself, letting yourself down the most. I believe in honesty. I believe in communicating. And if something's going wrong, if you can't hold up your end of a deal, say it fast, say it soon, say it strongly, immediately, so that solutions have more time to come up. Don't stay quiet. Don't hold yourself back. Don't hope that it just kind of goes away, because even if you feel as though it goes away and nobody notices and nobody talks about it, it doesn't truly go away. It's like if you forget to do something and everything stays the same. You may think, oh, perfect, everything stays the same. That means I didn't do anything wrong. But maybe the thing you were supposed to do was actually supposed to change things. It was supposed to make things better. So because things are no longer how they're supposed to be, they're not better than they are now, in a way, by keeping things the same, you've made it worse. And I don't know if you fully follow that, but the point being, when you're accountable, when you're responsible for something, it's your job to get it done, or find someone to get it done, or find an alternate solution to getting whatever it is done. That's for when you agree to do something. When you are ready to take accountability, it becomes your job. It becomes your responsibility. It might not affect you as much, but when you agree to do something, it does get put on you. You've agreed to that. And let's face it, accountability and responsibility is everywhere. If you talk to a single person, you've already accepted some form of responsibility. I promise. At the base level, for any relationship you have, whether it's friend, whether it's neighbor, whether it's family, honestly, it could even be with a stranger, you've accepted the responsibility to act respectfully, right? There are social norms, there are rules in engagement, in talking with people that you follow, and silently you make this contract with every other person you talk to that, yes, I am going to follow these rules. People think that, taking responsibility is explicit, like you have to say it, but it's not true. We make these things called silent contracts all the time, which is the unspoken rules, the unspoken agreements between you and another person, honestly, between you and yourself, that you're going to do something and you're going to follow these rules. As I like to believe, if there's a rule that you know you're going to break, don't agree to it in the first place. Right at the very beginning, say something about it. Tell them, hey, this doesn't work for me. Like when you're talking to another person and you know that there's some rule set between you two because you're old friends and there's something that you've always done, but it's something that you don't want to do anymore, you don't agree to anymore. Your job is to say that. Your job is to tell them, hey, I don't want to greet each other like this, or I don't want to treat you like this. I don't want to playfully insult you, or I don't want to hug anymore, or whatever it is. If there's a rule that you don't like, change it. But don't change it without telling other people, because then that's not changing a rule, that's breaking it. Agree to a new rule so that there's a new level of responsibility. I said all of this, now that I think about it, as an answer to myself. Funny enough, that's what happens for me. Sometimes I have to just ask a question to a problem that I'm having and then talk about it as if my friend is going through it. I talk about it as if you're going through this and you just told me what your problem is, which is the one that I'm having, and I answer it. But the beautiful thing about what I do and the fact that I record and post this is that I now have this answer for later. I can go back and re-listen to this video. You can go back and re-listen to this video if and when you ever deal with a situation like this, one where you struggle to hold yourself accountable, struggle to be responsible for yourself. I've created this gift for myself, and it's a gift that I'm happy to share with other people. It may be useful to you now. It may be useful to you in a year from now. It may have been useful a year ago if you heard it then. Either way, take it and use it. You don't have to take it all. You don't have to believe it all. But whatever stuck out to you, or whatever ideas this gave you, maybe you completely disagree with me, but it gives you a different idea of what is the truth. Follow that, because that's exactly what you're meant to do, what you're meant to feel, what you're meant to think. When I speak, I never believe I'm telling the full truth for everyone. I believe I'm telling my truth. I believe I'm telling what's right for me. And I hope that what's right for me may be what's right for you, or may work for you, or just may trigger the correct thing for you. You know the right answer. And that's one thing I love about you. I love a lot about you. I love that you're here, honestly. I love that you care. I love that you want to learn and grow. And I care that you show up. I appreciate that you show up. And I can't wait to one day meet you. I can't wait to see what you become and to hear about how much you've changed. You don't have to change because of me, but I do hope that either way, you change from now until we meet. I want you to change, not because I want you to be different or that something is wrong, but because change is fun, change is interesting, and change leads to growth. If you're not growing, you're dying, and I just want you to keep growing for as long as you live. So, until we meet, I hope you have a wonderful time just experiencing everything life has to offer. I don't know when we'll meet, but I know it's soon enough. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for listening. I just want you to remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.